Welcome to another deep dive. Ready to unearth some fascinating insights?
Always.
Today, we're going into the world of forestry management.
Okay.
Now, that might seem like it's a world away from cutting-edge tech.
Right.
But get this, we're going to explore how a French forestry cooperative is using AI to totally change the way they care for their forests.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, a really remarkable case study.
So what's the big takeaway here? Why should we care about this?
Well, this case study really shows how AI can be a powerful tool for good in the environmental sector.
Interesting.
We're going to get into how they're using drones to gather information,
Okay.
the role of AI, how it analyzes that data, and the real world effects for managing forests sustainably.
Ooh, I like that. Sustainably. Okay, so get ready to dive deep into the world of AI-powered forestry. You might find yourself looking at trees in a whole new light.
Yeah, definitely. The cooperative is dealing with a challenge that foresters around the world face. The sheer scale and complexity of managing a forest. Just try and imagine trying to keep track of the health of thousands, even hundreds of thousands of trees,
Right.
each one vulnerable to disease, pests, climate change.
It's a lot, yeah. I can see how that would be overwhelming.
Yeah.
So traditionally, how would this be done? Just people walking around?
Yeah, a lot of boots on the ground work.
Okay.
Meticulously walking through the forest, inspecting trees, taking notes. Very time-consuming.
I bet. So this is where technology comes in, I'm guessing.
Exactly. The cooperative started using drones,
Oh, cool.
equipped with cameras to capture images of their forest plots from above.
So it's like giving them a bird's eye view.
Exactly, and that lets them cover way more ground.
Yeah.
Much faster.
So much more efficient.
Way more efficient. But it's not just about the pictures, right?
Right.
The really amazing stuff happens after the drones have done their part. That's when AI steps in to analyze all that data.
Okay, so we've gathered the data. Now what? What does the AI actually do?
So hundreds of individual pictures from the drones get stitched together to create these things called orthophotos. Imagine a huge, wrinkled photo of a forest, and you carefully flatten it out. That's what an orthophoto is, a detailed aerial map.
Wow, and I'm assuming these orthophotos are super detailed, right? More than what we could see just walking around.
Oh, absolutely. In perfect conditions, you can get accuracy down to about a centimeter.
Wow.
So they can see things they'd never catch from the ground.
Okay, so we have these maps. What next? How does AI fit in?
This is where it gets really interesting. They develop special mapping software that combines those orthophotos with other important info, like property lines, and any forest inventory data they already have.
Okay.
Then AI algorithms analyze these images, looking for anything unusual that might point to a problem.
So it's like the AI is this high-tech detective scanning for clues that something's off.
Exactly.
What kind of problems are we talking about here? What's it looking for?
One of the main things is signs of disease or dying trees. These trees, they often have these subtle changes in color or texture that are super hard for us to see, especially from the ground.
Right.
But AI can spot those differences, often long before we'd ever notice.
Wow, so it's almost like an early warning system.
Yeah, exactly, for forest health.
That's incredible. But does this mean, foresters are out of a job? Does AI replace them?
That question comes up a lot when you talk about AI in any field. And here, the answer is definitely no.
Okay.
They're very clear about that, the cooperative. This isn't about replacing their foresters. It's about giving them a powerful tool to be even better at what they do.
It's more like empowering them.
Yeah, exactly. Like giving them a superpower.
I like that. So it's like a team effort, human and machine, each with their own strengths.
Yeah.
How does that work in practice, though? If the AI flags a problem, then what?
Well, one of the biggest advantages here is that it lets you be very targeted with your interventions.
Okay.
Once the AI finds something concerning, that info can go right to a GPS device, guiding the foresters right to the spot.
So they could literally walk right to a problem tree using their GPS.
Exactly. That saves a ton of time and effort compared to the old ways of doing things. They can deal with specific problems right away.
It's like something from a sci-fi movie.
Right.
But it's also clearly very practical. It's really cool to see how technology and, traditional methods can work together like that.
It's a great example of how we can use human ingenuity to protect and preserve our natural world.
This has been such an interesting look into AI and forestry already. For our French-speaking listeners, remember you can always catch more insights like this by subscribing to Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube. Welcome back to our deep dive into the world of AI-powered forestry. Before the break, we were talking about how this French cooperative is using AI to pinpoint specific trees that need attention.
Yeah.
It's almost like they have a virtual doctor for the whole forest.
It is a good comparison. And just like a doctor, the AI needs accurate information to make a diagnosis.
Oh, right.
That's where those ground control points we mentioned earlier come in.
Yeah, those precisely measured points on the ground that help calibrate the drone images.
Exactly. By using enough of those, they can be sure that the digital map is not only detailed, but accurate.
So we're talking accurate enough that you could navigate through the forest using just the map.
Yeah, precisely. And that level of accuracy is important for more than just pinpointing individual trees.
Okay, like what else?
Say they need to plan a controlled burn to manage undergrowth or create fire breaks.
Right.
They can use the data to map out the area really accurately.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So the AI finds a tree that needs attention. The forester goes there with the GPS.
So
Then what?
that's when the forester's expertise really comes in. The AI might be good at spotting anomalies,
Okay.
but it's the human who ultimately has to decide what to do.
So it's not just like the AI says, cut down this tree and that's it.
No. Think of it more like a second opinion.
Okay.
A really informed second opinion, but still just an opinion.
Right.
The forester might decide the tree can be treated, or maybe it does need to be removed to stop the spread of disease.
So it's really that partnership.
Yeah,
Humans and AI working together.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the benefits of this approach are hard to deny. The cooperative can manage their forests proactively and efficiently
And
and sustainably. But I do wonder about the cost of this technology. Is it only for these big organizations that have a lot of money?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And it is something that people think about a lot. The technology is getting more accessible and affordable as time goes on.
Okay.
In fact, there are companies that focus on providing these drone-based forestry services to smaller landowners,
Right.
even individual tree farmers.
So it's not just a future concept.
Right.
This is happening now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as the technology keeps improving, we're going to see even more ways that AI can be used in forestry.
So beyond what we've talked about, are there any other examples of how AI is being used in forestry right now?
Definitely.
Huh.
There are researchers using it to predict how invasive species spread.
Oh, wait. To model the effects of climate change on forests,
Mm-hmm.
and even to optimize timber harvesting to minimize ecological damage.
So many possibilities. It feels like we're just starting to understand what AI can do for forests.
I think that's fair to say. And a lot of these applications are really just getting started. There's a lot of room for innovation.
It's amazing to think that AI, this technology that seems so futuristic, can be such a powerful tool for something like forestry.
It really is. And I think it just shows how technology can connect us with nature and make our relationship with it even stronger.
This conversation has been really eye-opening. I'm wondering what you think about how this tech could be used to manage other ecosystems,
Okay.
like grasslands or wetlands.
That's a really interesting question. And researchers are already looking into that.
They are.
There are projects using AI to monitor coral reefs,
Wow.
to track wildlife in savannas, and to better manage green spaces in cities.
It sounds like AI has a big part to play in the future of conservation.
It does. And I'm excited to see what new innovations come up as we learn more about how technology and nature can work together.
This deep dive has given us a lot to think about, but we're not done yet. After a short break, we'll talk about some of the bigger implications of AI in forestry and what we can expect to see in the future of this exciting field. Welcome back to our deep dive into AI-powered forestry.
Before the break, we were talking about how this tech could be used in other ecosystems.
Yeah, and I think it's important to remember that this French forestry cooperative is just one example, right?
Yeah.
This is happening globally.
Absolutely. All over the world, researchers and organizations are looking at how AI can help us manage our natural resources.
So this isn't just some small niche thing. It feels like we're at the beginning of a really big change in how we approach conservation.
I agree completely. And it's not just about solving the problems we already have. It's about looking ahead to, like, how can AI help us deal with the impacts of climate change on forests?
So you're saying AI could help us make forests more resilient, like better able to withstand the effects of climate change?
Exactly. When we analyze a lot of data with AI, we can understand how forests are responding to things like changing temperatures and rainfall patterns.
And armed with that knowledge, we can make smarter choices about how to manage forests in the long term.
Right. And that's super important when you think about how crucial forests are for the whole planet. They absorb carbon dioxide, regulate water cycles, and provide a home for so many species.
So it's bigger than just saving trees. It's about protecting the entire planet.
It is. It's about the big picture, and I think more and more people are starting to get that, and that's what's driving a lot of the innovation and investment in this field.
Have you come across any unexpected or surprising uses of AI in forestry?
Well, there's some really cool research being done on using AI to analyze the sounds of forests.
This sounds.
Yeah. By listening to birds, insects, and other wildlife, AI can help us pick up on even small changes in biodiversity.
So it's like we have this ear constantly listening to the forest, checking for any signs of trouble.
Exactly. And because sound travels so well in those dense areas, it can be a really effective way to monitor those harder to reach spots.
It's incredible. Every time we dig deeper into this, we find even more amazing applications.
It really shows you how creative these researchers are, finding all these new ways to use AI for good in the environment.
Well, this deep dive has given us a look at a future where tech and nature aren't enemies, but partners.
Yeah, a future I'm really excited about. A future that has a lot of potential for the health of our planet.
This has been a truly fascinating look at AI in forestry management. For our French-speaking listeners, be sure to check out Le Podcast de Philippe on YouTube for more deep dives like this one.
And to everyone listening, we hope this has sparked your curiosity and made you wonder about all the possibilities that are out there.
As we continue to explore this intersection of technology and nature, who knows what amazing discoveries are waiting for us. Until next time, stay curious.